All right, folks, you may get to see a glance of my leg. You saw my hand there for a moment. Look at how big Barbarossa, Army Group North 1941's map is. Good Lord, folks, it is an Alpha, Bravo, Lima, Whiskey, and Charlie map section, and there are smaller map sections that go with it. But look at this. And you know what? It fits pretty dang well together. I was surprised. It required a little bit of work, but not nearly as much as I thought. And let me get down close so you can see the seam, so to speak, and see how well it joins together here. So bear with me as I get down and try not to fall. So I mean, you look here, and of course some of this would be done a little more if you put it down yourself, but look at how well it adjoins. And we go up here to the rivers on the approaches to Lake Eamon, and just it aligns very well. So there you have it. You actually see it in its entirety. And we'll back up and kind of tilt it. You can see it in its entirety, Army Group North, the reprint by GMT here. Now, this also is a naval module, but let's look here. There's a Berlin air defense and a Berlin bombardment table, because a lot of folks don't always necessarily know that there were a few raids launched on Berlin then. But here you have shipping attack, naval sea loss table, naval search, because there was a lot of activity in the Gulf of Riga. So you actually see here then that there are some charts on the maps. But this is the only map that has, of the 5 main maps, that has tables on it. Folks, the other maps. First we have here, and these are, they call them map cards. You have the Leningrad inset map. Okay. This is map card 1. Inset map card, well, not inset, but map card 2 is Operation Beowulf. Okay. Another card. Map card 4, the direct assault on Leningrad, because they made some scenarios so that you can play the game, because this is a game by the metric ton, right? And then we've got the Siege of Tallinn, map card 2. So you've seen the maps, folks. What do you think so far? Yeah, they're smaller. Could you make this into a mounted map board? Oh, good Lord, I don't see how you could do that. Maybe you could do these as a mounted map board, but I think to try to do the other ones is nigh impossible. 5 sheets of game counters. Here, of course, you have the German. All German, right? And the Luftwaffe. 2 of Soviet. First one. Weak forces, aren't they? And second one, and 2 sheets of markers. Marker sheet 1, as I prefer to call it, it's counter sheet 4, counter sheet 5. There you've seen the counters, folks. Rulebooks, 3 of them. This one is 60 plus pages, your standard rules for the system, and of course it's laid out in standard GMT format. Nice paper, easy to read, lots of illustrations, but a lot of reading. Then you've got the Playbook, and I was laughing in a video recently about GMT's playbooks or sometimes, and of course your maps. So you see, I use this, and dependent upon how you're playing, it sets up a certain kind of way, right? Depending upon what your scenario is. But specific to this and specific to the scenarios. So, I mean, you know, what you expect, again, from GMT and a playbook, but again, 50 plus pages, 56 pages of reading there, folks. So we are now at 120 pages and you haven't done anything. Then the naval modules we were talking about from Riga, well, it's only 11 pages. So, and let's, with examples, almost reminds you of something from Atlantic Chase, doesn't it, folks? But same thing. And we go to 12 pages on rules there. I also noticed the turn record chart, which I found kind of fascinating here as we get into the cards. Okay. Game turns 1 through 53. And then we flip it over. Game turns 54 to 96. Good Lord, folks. I'll never get to review anything else just playing this game. This will take a month. Alright, folks, we're back. Here's your game turn record track. Pretty cool that they went ahead and did it so that it flips from side to side. Here you've got game turn from 1 to 53, 54 to 96. Now, this, of course, is the terrain effects chart. It is, well, it's weenie fun, isn't it? It's very tiny, coming close here, but from afar, it's a challenge to read. Here are many of your different game tables, mostly dealing with combat. You got your retreat table, your surrender table, your integrity table for panzer divisions, armor attrition, overrun, air initiative, fire table, air combat table, so, and of course, your CRT that also has effects beneficial to the attacker and to the defender. Now, scenario cards, there's 6 of them. And we'll just break out one here for scenario 2, the Siege of Tallinn. Standard GMT again, and just like with Operation Beowulf. So there are 6 of these, all total. Some, of course, are bigger than others, such as this one here, that have more for both scenario pool groups for 3 and 4. So, get to see that lot to this here. There is also an Army step reduction. Okay. Nothing on the side of that. And there is one additional map, scenario 1. How about that? Another tiny map. Little tiny map here. Almost looks like a Victory Points Game 1. We also have, for both sides, this, a rebuilding chart, a replacement track chart, air unit status, damage, destroyed, flown for air, and same for the Luftwaffe. All kind of just easy. Then, of course, your naval chart. Amphibious example takes a whole page. Your chart and table, unit types, what they can do, movement ranges, attacker and defender artillery support, headquarter effects if they're not operational, a page to read the units. Well, that's not unusual. Supply tables, geographic locations captured by, in terms of gaining or losing victory points, ships in the eliminated box, Soviet replacements, Cool picture here. And then your expanded sequence of play card. And oh my God. So, granddaddy of game. If you want the big games, this is a reprint. Just came out, just sent to me by GMT. So what do you think, folks? Pretty impressive, isn't it?